There is something about the Western Australian goldfields that gets under your skin. It's remote, it's rugged, it can be unforgiving. But for those of us who choose to live out here, every sunrise brings a possibility of a new adventure. Welcome to Free to Roam. Adventure is where you find it. Life in the goldfields isn't always about finding gold. Sometimes it's about simple living with the land.
What a nugget!
One day you can be chasing a gold nugget.
Oh, that's...
The next you're battling thousands of flies just to enjoy a cup of coffee. And then there are times, those moments when you stop, look around and realise just how spectacular this part of Australia really is. Okay, I'm just out detecting this morning and I've come across something that's quite unique, and I just thought I'd turn this camera on and show you. Get a look at this. How we have some different formations over here in Western Australia is amazing. We've got quartz that looks like a mosaic. So unique. The goldfields change dramatically with the seasons. After rain, the landscape can come alive. Wildflowers begin to appear across the country, forming what can look like a harsh and barren landscape into something truly beautiful. And for a detectorist, there is something pretty special about walking through the flowers with a detector in your hand, never knowing what might be waiting beneath your feet, because somewhere beneath this ancient ground could be a tiny piece of gold, or a nugget you've been dreaming about. Becomes a bit like a magical wonderland when you're walking around through these beautiful flowers. The scenery is just amazing. It's now July and the wildflowers are starting to come out. Changes the appearance altogether. But the goldfields can also throw everything at you. Rain can arrive quickly, roads become muddy, tracks become difficult, and sometimes the best thing you can do is just sit back, wait for the weather to pass, and enjoy being out here. Out detecting this morning, and we had a strong wind warning and only supposed to be a mill of rain, but it started to pour down, so we had to quickly grab our gear and head off. Well, the rain has chased me away, so we had to call it a day. But geez, I've had a fantastic hour or so. 3 nice big chunkers. Pretty happy with all that, holy dooly. And you get days like this, and this is what keeps you coming back. They say there's gold fever. Well, it is true. It just keeps bringing you back. Racing back before it gets too wet and we get stuck here. Once it starts raining in this sort of country, you get bogged very easy. It becomes quicksand. It reminds me of the old timers. They lived in some of the most remote parts of Australia with very little basic shelter, basic food, basic equipment, but somehow they made it work. And evidence of those old prospectors can still be found scattered across the goldfields. Old tin cans, pieces of discarded equipment, old workings, and a place where someone once stopped, set up camp, and searched this country for gold. Every piece of evidence tells a story. I often find myself wondering, who was here? What were they searching for? Did they find gold? And what was life really like for them out here? Well, from time to time we stumble across things like this. The old fireplace and a lot of booze bottles. Them fellas sure knew how to drink in them days. When you come to these places and you see all these shafts around, there's always followed by a lot of tin and rubbish scattered everywhere. They lived here and they worked. And they obviously ate a lot of tin food. Just walking back from the car. And they've got a little signal. Look down on the ground and look what we've got. A beautiful little threepence. Well, it looks like it's threepence. Let's have a look. Yep, 1921 threepence. It's in good condition too, look at that, wow. Wow, I bet you it can tell a story. Sometimes the search takes me away from the detector and into places that hold even more mysteries. Caves scattered throughout the goldfields can provide clues about how people lived and worked out here. Walking into one of these places, you can't help but imagine the old-timers sheltering from the weather, cooking meals, planning their next move, and dreaming of striking it rich. See if the old-timers were camped in these caves at all. There's a bit of tin outside here, so it'd be interesting. Aha, there's a sign straight away. An old beer bottle. So the old-timers were here. When you come into these places, you just look, you don't touch. They certainly would have given them plenty of protection. It looks like our resident goat's been in here with all the droppings everywhere. Of course, life on the road isn't all detecting. There is nothing quite like finishing a day in the bush, lighting a campfire and cooking a good old-fashioned roast. Out here, a campfire can become the centre of your world. Good food, it tastes good, a quiet evening, and the satisfaction of knowing you've spent every day doing exactly what you love. Three nice pieces of gold today, so wasn't a bad day. And then there are those special finds that need a little more work. Sometimes you come across quartz that looks promising. you bring it back to camp, break it down, and see what's hiding inside. There is something incredibly satisfying about crushing a piece of quartz and revealing the gold that has been locked inside for who knows how long. Oh, some nice chunky pieces are coming through that bottom there. Look at that. Wow, that's nice. Wow, look at that. So I'll just collect that now. And yeah, dry it out, bottle it. And then there are days that every prospector dreams about. You find a patch, then another piece, and another. Suddenly, the detector seems to be telling you that you found something special. A honey hole. The sort of place that makes you forget about flies, the heat, the long hours, and the hard digging.
Really good.
Because now you're chasing gold. And every signal can be the next nugget.
I've got a fair bit of tin around here too, so I'm not 100% confident that it's going to be gold, but you never know. Okay, we're out. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what it is. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, no. That is. It's bloody gold. Look at the size of that. Oh, gee whiz, hang on. I can see bits of gold in it coming out. Oh, look at this. Hang on. Ooh. Look at this. What a nugget. You little ripper. Oh, that's probably one of the biggest I've ever found. Oh, that's a nice piece too. Look at that. Oh, wow. Oh, there's at least an ounce in that. At least. Holy dooly. Oh, wow. Amazing. I finally cracked it. You beauty.
The goldfields are also a landscape filled with reminders of the past. An old mine shaft disappears into the earth. Some are obvious, others are almost swallowed by the bush. They're a reminder of thousands of people who came here chasing the same dream.
Water tank for sure.
Gold.
Look at this.
And although we may be using modern detectors today, the dream really hasn't changed.
I had to get water somehow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just walking up to these places is unreal. It's like a step back in time, and to see all these mine shafts around. Yeah, it's awesome. It's amazing what they endured. Yeah, hardship and hard land. There's your old mine shafts. But if you come around in here, Look at this. Would have been the old chimney. So there was definitely a hut here at one stage. When you come across things like this, it's absolutely thrilling. It just puts a smile on my face, and I thoroughly enjoy discovering stuff like this. Just walking along here and I spotted a mine shaft. I thought I'd come over and have a look at it. And it looks like some poor donkey. There's wild donkeys around this area, so looks like a donkey or a horse, but I'd say it's a donkey. Fell down the shaft. And he's now trapped in under there and perished. That's why you got to be careful around these open shafts.
But living remotely comes with its challenges. One day, while I was out detecting, something happened that every outback traveller hopes to avoid. I staked a tyre. Out here, there's no roadside service waiting around the corner, no mechanic, no one coming to change it for you. If you're in the middle of nowhere, you have to do it yourself.
Righto, we fixed up that tyre.
So that's exactly what I did. Out come the jack, the tools and the spare. It wasn't exactly how I planned to spend my day, but that's part of living in the outback. You learn to deal with whatever comes your way. I eventually made it into town and got a new tyre fitted. Problem solved. And it's a good reminder that when you live remotely, being prepared isn't optional. But perhaps the greatest thing about living in Western Australian goldfields isn't the gold itself. It's the freedom, the adventure, the history, the challenges, the incredible landscapes, the wildflowers, the wildlife, the campfires, and those moments when you're standing somewhere incredibly remote, listening to nothing but the wind, knowing there's nowhere else you'd rather be. Every day brings something different. Some days bring gold, some days bring rain, some bring mechanical problems, some bring history, and some simply bring a spectacular sunset. But life in the goldfields, and for me, that's what free to roam is all about. So until next adventure, keep exploring, keep chasing the dream, and remember, adventure is where you find it.